World of Warships ships. World of Warships ships. Have you ever been sitting in port, looking at all your ships and wanting to play a game, but just not knowing which one to play? You could play the Yamato, but you're just not feeling it. You could play the Z39, but you're just not in the right mindset to go into a game of World of Warships and actually enjoy the game, playing that ship. So today we're going to be looking at some ships, but also some, situations or moods where you just need the perfect ship to play. We're going to be going through some of the ships that you should play if you're feeling annoyed. Not that I advise playing while you're mad, but it happens more often than not recently. Some that you should play while you're in a good mood, and some that you'll want to play while being as passive as possible. At this point, you get the idea. And if you didn't, well, I need to learn to do a better job of explaining things. I mean, you'd think I'd be good at this by now, seeing as I have made more than a few videos at this point. So let's get into it. So let's say you wake up one really nice morning, say after Christmas, and you can think of nothing better than playing some World of Warships. Yeah, because that happens. Anyways, in order to jolt yourself awake and get ready for the day, you decide to play some World of Warships anyways. So the question that obviously pops into your head is, what ship do I need to play that won't cause my teammates the maximum amount of pain, but at the same time makes the game as fun as possible to enjoy? With your drink of choice, of course, hopefully filled with caffeine to speed up the process of waking up. And the answer as always should be the sailing fort known as the Kremlin. The Kremlin does a few things, especially for the player that might not have the full strength of their cognitive ability available to them when just waking up. Firstly, as I've stated, is a tank, which basically means that any of those accidental keyboard presses that mean you show a little bit too much broadside to the enemy team won't matter all that much. Secondly, it's a battleship. And the thing about the Kremlin being a battleship means that you'll have plenty of time when the game starts to AFK and go do something else that you would normally do in the morning. I don't know, brush your teeth, cook breakfast, and the same goes for when you actually get into position. Because trying to move a Kremlin out of an area of the map is like trying to move a cruise ship with a rubber dinghy. It just isn't going to happen, at least not easily anyways. So now that you've woken up, you should be in a fairly good mood. And with that good mood, you need to make another decision for the second game of the day, in terms of which ship you need to play. So you're in a happy/good mood, so the ship you now need to play is the Shimakaze. Now, I know why play the Shimakaze when you're in a good mood. Surely the Shimakaze is precisely the one ship that will kick you straight out of the good mood and into a black hole of despair. But the fact you're in a good mood should be the reason that you're playing the Shimakaze. You see, in my humble opinion, the Shimakaze is two things: a torpedo boat and a slightly lesser version of the Holland. So when you're in the best mood, you should be playing one of the most difficult ship types to play, and in one of the not great ships in that role. And when I say not great, I mean not the best. I don't mean as a bad ship, which it isn't by any stretch of the imagination. Because believe me, when you start missing 500 torpedoes in a game, you're going to need to be in a good mood to convince yourself to push through and actually hit some in the next game. So you've been watching some clown on YouTube telling you about the Holland and how it's better than Shimakaze, and so after playing a couple of games of the Shimakaze, you're excited to play the Holland, the European Tier 10 DD. And you'd be right to be excited, because as you can see from this gameplay, this was literally the first game I ever played in the Holland. I even have crazy detection range, and don't even have all the upgrades yet, and yet the ship still performs extremely well. So if you want to watch some more of this, and other games maybe, follow me on Twitch, although the gameplay might be like this, or something much worse. There'll probably be a link in the description below, unless I forget again, which could happen. But in general, the Holland is probably one of the most fun free-to-play ships in the game. If you don't enjoy torpedo boats, then I can see that this probably isn't the ship for you, but if you're like myself and you enjoy alt-tabbing out of the game to watch a YouTube video or browse Reddit, then the Holland, and by extension torpedo boats in general, are an excellent choice for you. So now let's flip this whole thing on its head. And no, I don't mean like that. Let's say that the games on the Holland didn't go exactly as planned. Let's say some of those well-timed torpedoes just missed, or every game you went into, you got matched with a bunch of ships with hydro, meaning that even though you had launched the fastest torpedoes in the game, they could barely hit the water, never mind an enemy ship, and so you're left with a little bit of an annoyance kind of feeling. or at least an annoying feeling, taking the place of the excitement you once had to play the Holland. Fair enough. Now you need a ship to play when you're feeling annoyed. The ship I'm going to recommend could go either way here, but I'm going to suggest it anyways. It's the Minotaur. And while you may be thinking, the Minotaur, that ship that basically looks like a pinata draped in a British flag, that's going to only make you even more angry once you get pop like it in game. And while that might be true, there is the opposite side of the coin, where you get to spam AP shells 15 times a second into the armor of the enemy team, and very nicely deal up about 15 million damage in the space of a 20-minute battle. Although, if worse does come to worse, and you do end up feeling compressed by the shells that are piercing your armor from 15 different directions, not that dissimilar to being thrown out into outer space. And well, while you try to tamper your anger, you're very quickly going to want to pick a different ship for the following game. So what started as an intention to have some fun playing World of Warships has progressed into an attempt to prevent yourself from becoming overwhelmed by anger. So you decide to play one last game in the hope of salvaging at least a shred of positivity from the day spent playing World of Warships. So what ship would be a good pick in this instance? Well, we go from one semi-Daka boat to another very upgraded Daka boat in the form of the Smolensk. Now, Smolensk has been flying under the radar for a good while, mostly because of plenty of other ships have taken over the role of the most hated ship in the game, and with the IFHE changes, which I'm not good enough to comment on, it has caused a little bit of a shift in the popularity of the Smolensk. But it still is one of the best ships to play when you're feeling like you personally want to reach out through each of your allies' computer screens and slap them across the face. Now, will this ship actually make you less mad when you play it? Maybe? Again, the way I want to preface the Smolensk is like the Minotaur. Sure, there's less downside because you're more likely to be overpenned and busted into a million different pieces like you would if you played the Smolensk, Minotaur. See, it's very easy to confuse the two. And of course, that comes with the added bonus that you get to use HE all the time. So you're probably going to have a really enjoyable time playing the Smolensk. That is, of course, unless you get spotted by a Thunder, in which case get ready for the angry mood you're already in to be amplified by 100% when you get Citadel by its HE. Yeah, that's not going to go down well. And so, what if you get one shot by that creeping Thunder? What then? What ship do you decide to play at that stage? Well, it's fairly self-explanatory. Nothing. You press that exit battle button and you enjoy the rest of the day safe in the knowledge that you just experienced every single emotion known to man in the space of 2 hours. Congratulations. So that's that for another video. A little bit more of a weird one this time, but you know, I'm pretty desperate for ideas at this point, so anything will do. And with that, I hope you enjoyed, and of course, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope next year will be a little bit more fun than this one, but what can you do? And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.